Hi folks. The last video was it was an interesting subject to consider because I think it's one that people never consider. But it's very important because it's something that does happen. Nowhere near as much as it's reported as happening, no. But the rates of such things are nowhere near. Because if you ask feminists, how often do men commit such things? They will say, oh, probably about 10%, 20% of men do such things. No. No, it's probably not even 1%. Probably not even 1% of men have done such a thing. Because it's something which... Yeah, well, one of the things online says that they think it's possibly because of the fact of gender identity and that sort of stuff, and the roles of men and women, and that they think strongly about. Well, that's, come on, because even when you go back to 100 years ago, 200 years ago, there were still cases, as many cases of sexual assault then as there are now, and the gender roles were pretty much straight according to how people thought of the day. Now it's changed a bit, but it's not as if we got more of those sort of assaults now than we did then, because there isn't. So it's got nothing to do with that. You know, others say it's about power and control. Again, no, it's not. No, power and control is usually emotionally and mentally. Men and women do that to each other. I say I've spoken about Colin and how Colin is with a woman now who is incredibly controlling, who has all the power, and so therefore, yeah, women do it, men do it. You know, abuse the other half mentally, emotionally, and do it for control and power. Yeah. And if it's about devaluing, again, that was one of the things. They have a hatred towards women. They want to devalue them. Well, there's enough women that are devaluing themselves and are doing a bloody good job of devaluing women. Look at OnlyFans and stuff like that, and you know what young women put on Instagram. I mean, if that's not devaluing, come on. Can a man do worse devaluing of women than that? No. Not in any way, shape or form. Yeah, I mean, it's quite likely a man who come up with the idea of OnlyFans. Making money from women, you know, prostituting themselves, basically. Hey! Yeah. But as I say, you have all of that. That devalues women massively. Yeah. You have all the arguments that have been made recently about gender pay when you get some idiot, you know, trying to argue that women are paid less than men, which is absolute crap. And as soon as they try to argue, they're devaluing women by their argument anyway, because they're telling people that women are bloody stupid. Right? Because, yeah, come on. Their argument is incredibly stupid. And so, yeah, who cares? You've got the right and the left, both trying to devalue women in different ways. They see a strong woman who's right wing as, you know, being controlled by men or whatever, that she can't have her own opinion, that devalues them. Then the right wing say the left wing are, you know, whatever. It's continuing to devalue your women, you know. So there's no reason to sexually assault a woman to devalue them. So yeah. Well, again, have I devalued women in the past? Yeah. Not intentionally. No. Well, put it this way, what I did was intentionally. You know, meeting a girl, having sex with her, then maybe not meeting her again, or quite often the relationships were just sexual. They weren't really anything else. When I was younger, that was the case, yeah. There's one girl, I lived with her for a while. I can't remember what her name is. It was a long, long time ago now. I was about 19 at the time. And so, 35 years ago. And she was a lovely young lady. She was about 20. I was about the same sort of age. And we've met in homeless accommodation. And she got a place, and I went to see her, and we ended up getting together through that. But there wasn't exactly much of a relationship there outside of sex. There wasn't really much in the way of really getting to know each other, talking, going out, doing anything together. None of that. We didn't know how. Well, we didn't have the money to do so, that was one thing, but we didn't know how either. And so, was that me devaluing her? As well as myself, yes. Yeah. And was that herself, devaluing herself and me? Yeah. Yeah. But again, that happens all the way. So, there's tons of devaluing going on of men and women. Certainly as we grow up and as we learn, we do that sort of stuff. Yeah. Generally speaking, we don't do it to hurt. We don't do it to harm. Well, one thing that did strike me earlier, thinking about that subject, is the women afterwards are in a position of utter torment, confusion, rage. Maybe it's a case where the men are in that state already. Some of the men are in that state. And, yeah. That's what they're trying to cause because they're in it themselves. Yeah, I don't know. I think the answer to that question, why do men do that? I think the problem is there's probably 101 different answers. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth. There's probably 101 different answers to it. And the way I ended the last one, it's a case where women do not need to understand why. Because it won't help them anyway. Understanding why that individual did that to you is not really going to help you very much. It will help you to realise it wasn't personal, but for goodness sake, how can that be personal? And if they tell you it is personal, that's only going to make it a damn sight pretty worse. So best idea is don't try to find out, because it can only really make it worse. Because generally speaking, you already know it probably isn't personal, and it probably isn't. So therefore, what the reason is, the only thing that can make it worse is if they tell you it is actually personal for some reason. And that won't be good. That won't help at all. But no. Yeah, I understand. Of course, you want to know why someone's done such a thing to you. Of course. Yeah. Well, because when things happen, we want answers. We always do. Whatever happens, we want answers. The problem is there are some answers that are only going to make things worse, and quite often the man himself won't know. The man might not be in a position to know yet. Hopefully they will in the future, so they can deal with it, and so they can deal with whatever that is, so they don't keep on behaving that way. But it might be too early for the man to know that, to understand what was happening in him to make him do that. So very difficult, isn't it? Anyway, it is what it is. So you take care. God bless. I will speak to you soon. Be blessed. Be blessing. And Have a fantastic rest of the weekend and week ahead. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.